Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aaron Thompson, the product manager here at SnapStream. I am joined today by my colleague, Eric Cohn, our West Coast account manager. I want to thank you for joining us today to just get a preview of what's been released in SnapStream 9.1. So one of the main features that we added in 9.1 is a concept called bookmarks that allow you to collaborate with other members of your teams when creating clips. So the example here, you can see that there are two team members on a social media team, for example, Bethany and Joel. And what Bethany can do is, for example, step one, set some clip start and stop points, or in and out, and give that bookmark a name. And there's no clip created yet, but we added this new tab that shows all of the bookmarks for this specific recording or clip that Bethany is watching. Well, if your second team member, in this case Joel, is watching that same recording, he will then see Bethany's bookmarks show up and allow him to change the in and out point, change the title, and I'm seeing a question here about being able to change the description as well as the title on these bookmarks. No, today there's no capability for that. Part of it is some of the platforms that we clip to, specifically social media, don't have the concept or the ability to set a description, but that's a good idea that I'll note down for the future. So the whole point of bookmarks, like I said, is to collaborate with your team so that you can not just create one clip, but allow everyone on the team to create different sets of clips without actually making the files. And then when you're ready, you have your in and out point set, you have the right title, then what you can do is click on one of these buttons over here, either to clip directly or to post to YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. And one of the other things that we added is the ability for you to just copy a link and send it to a colleague, either in Slack or some other instant messaging system that will allow them to open up the web player and start on that specific bookmark so that you can essentially share with them immediately what you're working on. This is a very new feature for us and definitely a new concept, so there will definitely be some training involved, but also we would love to hear your feedback on the feature once you've had a chance to upgrade to 9.1 and start using it. And I just want to make a mention at this time, because I forgot in the beginning, this webinar is being recorded, so if you have to step away or can't stay on the whole time, we'll be putting the recording up on YouTube, and we'll send out the link either today or tomorrow. So one of the other new things in SnapStream 9.1 is live streaming. And I already see a good queue of questions about it. So I'll give everyone an overview of what we added, and then I'll get to some of the questions. So what we did for SnapStream 9.1 is we added the ability for you to stream out to social media directly from clips, recordings, and recordings in progress. The main use case here is if you have pre-recorded content or a specific clip that you've kind of curated it, you know exactly what you want streamed live, and you can then go in the web player and select the clip or recording, tell it the start point, and stream out to each of the social media platforms. You see the big red word beta here at the top. This is another feature that's very new for us here, and we'd love to hear your feedback. I specifically want to talk to you about all of your use cases because I think there's still a lot left to be added here, but this is our first step. So if you have a chance, I'd really love for you to start playing with it. So one of the questions I see is someone was asking if you can stream out to several different social media platforms at the same time. That's one of the things that we're planning to make easier. Today, it's a very clunky process in that you have to, go to the web player, select a clip, play to, say, for example, to Periscope, and go back to the Facebook tab and say stream out there, and then go to the YouTube tab and stream out from there, which, like I said, is a clunky process. So in the future, we intend to make it a lot easier where you can just select all of the different handles and Facebook pages and YouTube channels that you want to stream to, and then our system can take care of routing them all to the different locations. Taking a look at the questions, I think we've got it covered on the live streaming piece, but please go out and play with it. Hold on, one just came in. So someone's asking about delay time. That's a great question because today there is going to be a delay that essentially the way it's going to work today is you're going to be going through whatever encoding process that you're going through, whether it's SnapStream encoders or not, and then those are going to be sent to the SnapStream server or cloud server that are going to be recording, and then those live recordings are going to only be able to stream as fast as that whole encoding and file written to disk process happens. That's for the more live case where you're recording something right now and you want to be streaming it right now. In the case of clips and recordings that have already been recorded, the latency is much lower because at that point you're really dependent upon how fast YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope are going to be able to receive the data and stream it out. So to recap in a much more succinct answer, if it's pre-recorded or pre-clip content, then it's fairly low latency. If it's something that you're sitting on the very live edge of a recording, it's going to have, maybe I would say on the order of a second or two, maybe more of latency. But great question, because in the future, we want to make it so that even in that live edge case, the latency is just as low as the other cases. Also getting another question on the highest quality of the stream. Today, our encoders encode up to 1080p. So that's currently the max that you can stream out of our system. Another question coming in is whether or not you can schedule these live streams. Right now it's on demand, so there is no scheduling process, but that's a great feature request. It's on our roadmap, so it'll be something we'll be adding very soon. Great. By the way, great questions on the live streaming. Keep them coming because that'll help us a lot. Okay, so while we wait for more questions to come in, because I'm sure they will, I'm going to move on to some of the other things that we added in SnapStream 9.1. So over the past few years, we've had a few people mention that it's extremely difficult to view their upcoming recordings. So as you can see here, this is the current upcoming recordings page that you would see in 9.1 and earlier versions. And it's just, in this case, a sorted list by, you know, the soonest to be recorded item. And it was great a long time ago when we were recording maybe just a few things at a time, but now that some of you are recording 30, 50, 100 things at a time, it makes zero sense immediately. So what we did is we added a visual recording schedule. And the idea here is to put it in this visual grid format so that you can see what each input of yours is going to be recorded, what each input is going to be recording at what time. So the columns here are, you know, the time blocks that you'd see in our program guide, but unlike our program guide, on the left side, the rows, you see the input numbers. See one question, someone asking why it just says input 1 and input 2 and so forth. As many of you that are system administrators know, your input names are very long. So instead of trying to create a grid that had the left side almost completely filled with a name, we decided to just say, all right, input number 1 is priority number 1 tuner, input number 2 is priority number 2, and then if you need to know which actual tuner or input you're talking about, you can just mouse over that item and it will give you the full name. Great question, by the way. So I see a question here about integration with VidPresso or other custom graphics providers. Please send me an email after this, and I would love to talk to you more about the use case there and how we can build that out, because today, no, but I'm sure that that's some kind of integration that we could make happen. And you'll see my email address at the end of the presentation, but it is Thompson with an H and a P, so THOMPSON @snapstream.com. Any questions about the visual recording schedule that we added before I move on? Okay, so another thing that we've added at your request is the ability to specify more fine-grained controls over who can do what with each of your recordings or folders. So in 9.1, we added advanced folder permissions that allow you to specify, you know, maybe you want everyone to be able to play recordings from that folder, but you only want a certain group of users to be able to delete or download from those folders. So these are some of the options that you, as you can see here, these are the options that you can choose to specify which groups or users can perform those actions. And this is, you know, this is not on by default. So there's a slider right there. You can see that says advanced permissions that allows you to just turn it off or turn it on at any time. Okay, so I'm getting a question about Wowza Clearcaster, and I think this is another case where I'd like for you to email me and we can discuss what you're looking to replace in detail on a call. So please email me after this, and we'll set up a time where we can discuss that and see what we can do about adding that kind of functionality. Any other questions at this time about advanced folder permissions or anything else? Okay, good. By the way, good questions so far, so keep them coming in as we go. And remember, you can type in your question in the chat window or in the questions window, either one I'm monitoring. Okay, so here's something that we added in 9.1 that has been requested by many of you for years, which is the ability to see what your users are doing. As an administrator, the ability to see how your system is being used. You can see here, for example, in this picture, we're looking at how many recordings of CNN have been happening on a daily basis, right? But in this action filters category, you can select almost anything. You can say how many clips have been clipped from CNN over time, or just how many clips have been clipped on any channel over time. And you can set the time span. You can filter it by folder or even by user or group. So this is a way for you to take a look at what's happening in your system, and I encourage administrators to go through here and take a look at what you can see. I will warn you that as of 9.1, we just started. This will be when we start recording the statistics, so you won't be able to see what happened in the past. You'll only be able to see what happened once you upgraded to 9.1. I see a question in here that's an excellent question. It came up the other day in a company meeting. Just to go back a few slides, someone was asking what was up with these colors here in the program guide. Well, in this case, the recording schedule. This is trying to denote the genre of the recording. So green is a sporting event. So this one that I'm mousing over, for example, is a football game. This one over here is PGA Tour, and then the blue is actually movies. So this would be Pitch Perfect 3, which I still need to see, or so my wife tells me. This would be the movie The Snowman, and so forth. Your question is great because they're kind of confusing now, because that's not really how our system's being used anymore. So we're looking at removing them or making better use of colors as backgrounds. So thank you, great question. And also along those lines, if any of you have any suggestions or requests on how we might use colors better in the program guide and in the recording schedule, we're all ears. I think today the only backgrounds that we use besides the ones I just showed you is we use kind of a red background to denote if there's a conflicted recording in certain cases. But please email me with any ideas or feedback, because the easiest way for us to make the best product is for you to come and show us what we're doing wrong. Any questions about the analytics or anything I've gone over so far? Okay, so moving along, every release we add more exports, and 9.1 wouldn't be a SnapStream release if we didn't add more exports. In this case, we added 2 new exports as direct requests from customers like you. In the first case, I'm guessing most of you aren't familiar with this logo, but this is Sony Ci. also known as Sony Media Services. It's an in-the-cloud MAM, but also workflow system. So we had some customers asking us if they could export to Sony Ci. So we got together with the folks from Sony and worked up some integration. If you do have Sony Ci today, then please make use of it and give me any feedback that you have on anything you'd like added, because we're on both sides. We're working really hard to make sure that the experience is great on both sides, not just the export, but that Sony's providing the features that they need to be providing to make their system great as well. And the second integration that we added is Frame.io, which is a newer company that I met recently. And one of our customers, or two of our customers actually, asked us to integrate with Frame.io. It's not so much a MAM as it is just kind of a workflow in the cloud kind of tool. So they asked if we could export to Frame.io. So we got in touch with Frame.io folks and got that implemented. Again, this is a situation where we're working closely with them. So any requests that you have for us or for them or for ways to make it work better, we're all ears. So I got a good suggestion in the questions box saying maybe we could make award shows a different color. I think that's a great idea, and probably figure something out there, maybe like a gold or a silver or something like that, because I know a lot of you are working on an event basis specifically centered around award shows. So thank you, great suggestion. Okay, so now as my mouse has been happily trying to tell you, seeing is believing. So what I'm going to do now is turn the mic over to Eric, one of our account managers, and he is going to show you some of the stuff that I've been talking about for the past few minutes.
Hi, everybody. This is Eric Cohn. As Aaron mentioned, I am the West Coast account manager, so I had the pleasure before this to work in the customer success role at SnapStream. So even those of you who aren't on the West Coast, I see a lot of names that I recognize, a lot of names that I've met before. So I'm happy to be here to be able to speak with you about some of our new functionality. I also get the pleasure of actually showing you the functionality. While I enjoyed Aaron's immensely, I do like actually just jumping in and kind of showing you what we can actually do here. So just starting it from the top, clipping bookmarks. So clipping bookmarks, as Aaron said, are a good opportunity for organizations like newsrooms, organizations like social media, people that post a lot of content to social media, to be able to work collaboratively. If I were to go into a recording, whether it's in progress or finished, like this 13 Eyewitness News here in Houston, I can click on it and it's going to bring me into the recording. But the really nice thing about this is I actually get to see what other users on my SnapStream have been doing in this recording. So I can come over here to the clipping. To the bookmarks tab, which is right here. It's the little film strip, and I can actually see, okay, well, Aaron's already been in this recording, and he's created two. We like to just kind of call them virtual clips. One is of this Cy Young. He's calling Cy Young Award, and another one he's calling Cashless America. The great thing about it is I can click right on it, and here's what he clipped out. Here's the content. It's a 34-second clip. I can sit here and watch that clip. I can take a look at what he's done. This is a little raw for us from coming out of Houston to watch this, to remember this, but maybe I want to add a little bit of additional length to this clip. Well, I can actually just make that change here and save it as the new endpoint for that clip. So this allows you to do things like permission workflows, where a certain group is allowed to queue up this content or make these bookmarks, but maybe you only want your one particular team member to be able to actually post that content, post it or clip it or whatever have you. So again, now I made an edit here. Maybe I want to change it to this game hurts because we're from Houston here, and I can do that, and then I can clip it out, and it's going to include all the entirety of the clip that I've adjusted it to, along with the title that I've used and so forth. Or maybe I want to post it to social media at that point, and I can do that. It's a really, really nice process and to work collaboratively as a team. We've seen many, many times where there'll be a group of people who are sitting in a room, all of them on SnapStream, and they say, okay, I clipped that Trump mention, or I clipped that Obama mention, or whatever have you. Using collaborative clipping, you can see exactly what the other people in your team have used, have done, and then even if I have a finished clip here, if someone's already created that clip, it'll show a finished clip. So maybe I want to repurpose a clip that I send into my CMS for social media. It's a great way to do that, right through the collaborative clipping tab. So that is collaborative clipping. As Aaron repeatedly said, please, if you have any questions about anything that I'm demoing, go ahead and bring it in the question window. We'll be happy to answer them here. The other nice thing on the administrative side that we've added is advanced folder permissions. So with advanced folder permissions, I could say something like, you know what, this is my clip folder. Well, who's allowed to do something to the clip folder? Well, I want to be really, really specific. Before this, we had, and I went slightly too quick there, we granted full permissions by group. Well, maybe I want to be more specific than that. I can get down to very, very specific functionality of the software where I can say, you know what, I want everyone to be able to play, but I want to be the only person that can delete content, or maybe just administrators are the only people that can delete content from that folder. The other really nice thing is I can be as specific as rather than just saying administrators, I can say I am the only person that is allowed to delete content on the on that folder. So it's a really powerful way to say who has the permissions, what they have permissions for, and be able to stop things like downloads or sharing or deleting. These things that people have asked for in the past, and we haven't been able to give such granular control. Now we've given you the opportunity to really hammer down to the specific functionalities that you want to permit your users to have.
And I just want to thug the mic for a moment and mention that this folder permissions set that we've got here is new. So if there are any specific actions that you'd like for us to try and add as a permission specifically, please let me know.
Absolutely. Right. So that is the advanced folder permissions. I'm going to just keep going, and please, again, bring in any questions you have. Please feel free to send them over. Aaron's sitting over there answering questions as we speak. So on the live streaming side, it really could not be any easier. We've built it out to make it extremely, extremely functional. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, you know what, I want to live stream C-SPAN. So I take my C-SPAN recording. I currently have the House of Representatives recording. I'm going to go right to it. Now it's going to load up as it normally does, my C-SPAN recording. And what I want to do now is that maybe I want to post this to YouTube, or I want to post this to Periscope or a Facebook Live, wherever I'm looking to send it to. We've made it so it integrates directly with the social media posting functionality. So I can say, okay, well, this I want to go to YouTube Live. Well, what account do I want to send it to? I can send it to my SnapStream account. I can send it, I have a couple of personal accounts. I'm going to send it to my SnapStream account. Now, what do I want to call it? I can call it whatever have you. This obviously works in this situation. And then I can choose, the settings for YouTube Live. On this one, I'll say news and politics for obvious reasons. Maybe I want to make this unlisted. I can make it public. I can make it private. For this case, I'll make it unlisted. And you can even choose we have a stock bumper image that you can use, or you can add your own custom bumper image. So if you want your organization's bumper image to be there at the beginning of the feed, we can absolutely do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit upload to this, and what you're going to see is going to look much like the standard functionality for clipping, but it's slightly different. You can see on the bottom right corner, the little pop-up comes up, says live streaming U.S. House of Representatives YouTube. Well, it's starting that right now. It's starting in the background, the functionality to be able to post that content directly to my YouTube account. As soon as it is, rather than disappearing that pop-up, it's just going to show you the progress of that live stream. By default, it's actually going to start at the top of the broadcast. So you can see this is as a lot of C-SPAN recordings are. This is a live it's a very long broadcast. It's currently in progress. Now it starts me, like I said, right at the beginning of the broadcast. But if I wanted to start at a certain place, like right here in the middle of this recording, I can just make my start point right there and then hit upload, and you can see it's going to start right at that point in the recording. Now it's as easy as going to view stream to actually watch that playing back in my YouTube account. So it's as easy as that. I chose the original bumper image, so it's actually, this is a live stream of that recording. So it's taking, what it's doing is we're taking that feed in and then live streaming it directly from our SnapStream up to YouTube Live, to Facebook Live, to Periscope. It's very, very easy. We made this functionality as incredibly easy as we can. A question that we had earlier was how many can we do simultaneous streaming? Absolutely. If I want to stream to YouTube, to Periscope, and to Facebook all at the same time, I can do that. If I want to stream multiple YouTube pages, multiple Facebook pages, multiple Periscope accounts, I can. All I need to do is exactly like this. I have to have my account set up, and it's a very easy setup process. And you would just choose where you want it to go, and I would just get a second pop-up here showing that secondary streaming. By the way, I'll show you the Facebook and Periscope. Facebook is very easy. You just hit that live button that was never there before. Same thing goes with Periscope. And I just choose the account I want to send it to, and I can post that live. Now, I can follow my current in-progress streams by going to the queue here, and you can see that this is an in-progress stream that's currently going to YouTube. The really nice thing about this is I get my analytics here as well. Same as if it was a previously posted content to YouTube, I get in-progress analytics. So I can see if I'm getting likes, if I'm getting dislikes, if I'm getting comments or views. It's all right there. And if I want to end that stream, I can do that in one click as well. So this is something that I'll say personally I'm really excited about in the software. It opens up so many opportunities for our customers who are in most cases already doing this work. They're just using other tools. So there's a question that came in that's a great question from a government organization that says that their organization allows individual offices to be able to input their own social media handles. Is that how we handle it here as well? It absolutely is. So if I'm allowed to stream to the accounts that I want to set up, or that I want to stream to, we do that. I wasn't going to go into it, but I think it's helpful to see here on the profile settings for my SnapStream here. This is my individual profile settings. There's a couple of options here, things like where you can set your personal skip back and skip forward. You can set that here. But if I go further down, here's where I can set up my Facebook, my Twitter, and my YouTube accounts. And these are specific to me. So no one else is going to be able to tweet to my personal Twitter account or do a Periscope to my personal Twitter account. Same thing goes with my YouTube accounts. I'm the only person that's going to have access to these because we take that all into consideration. We don't want anybody to be able to post something, especially as this person asked in a political situation where they wouldn't want, where they'd have their opponents essentially to be able to access their system. If there's any further questions that I didn't answer there, please let me know. It is actually fortuitous that I came over here to show you this because there's another function that we're really excited about that actually is on this page as well. This is something that I've heard time after time. I'm so happy that our devs implemented a lot of you are very familiar with the hotkeys of our software to be able to to be able to use your keyboard hotkeys to do things like clip and move forward and backwards and so forth. Some people are more familiar with the Avid or the Premiere set of hotkeys than they are with SnapStream. So what do? We gave you the mapping for either Premiere or for Avid. So if you want to make your Avid, or if you want to make your start point in SnapStream, you can use the hotkeys that you're familiar with in Avid or the hotkeys you're familiar with in Premiere. It's a small functionality, but for a lot of people, it's been one of those sticking points. So I'm so happy that our devs changed that. I think it's going to make it's going to make a lot of people's lives easier, not having to think about what hotkeys they're using depending on what platform they're using. Now, a few more things that Aaron talked about that I'm going to show you here. One of the big ones is analytics. This is another thing that we've heard time after time that people wanted to see in the software. So we built it out. It wasn't a small effort to do because there's so many different ways that people can interact inside SnapStream. So I'm going to show you here. Actually, let's go back over to that recording that I was using earlier that I know that Aaron has used and that I've used earlier. If I click on this recording from my Eyewitness News here in Houston, I get an option that's brand new that says View Analytics. By the way, I do have a View Bookmarks as well if I want to just see the bookmarks. But if I want to view the analytics, I can click on it, and what it's going to do is exactly that. It's going to give me my analytic report on this recording. Now, I can be very, very specific about what I want to see based on this recording. Well, what do I want to see? I want to see where people have clip action. I want to see where there's actual actions happening on that recording. So I haven't actually clipped anything here, so it's not going to show anything. But I can actually come in here and say, I want to see who's searched on this, who's posted to YouTube, who's posted to Twitter, what kind of playback actions have happened on this recording. It's going to give me those results and allow me to understand how people have interacted with that individual recording, how people have reacted with that content. So I can even do things as specific as looking, by group or by individual user or by folder. Be really, really specific. Essentially, we haven't done any of these actionable items on that individual clip, but I would get those results here to show the actual activity that's taking place on this recording. Is there any questions about that? I see someone saying thank you for the Avid support. So I'm really happy to hear that. I knew for some people that'd be really an exciting thing. So I'm glad to hear that. A question that came in as well is, are the clips you mark for sharing capable of being downloaded and saved locally? So that's a really good question. I'm going to answer it two different ways, so make sure I cover what you're talking about. If I create a clip and I want to just record it locally, download it locally, I can do that. I just come here into my clips folder in the library, and I can hit that download button. That's going to download locally right to my desktop. I think what you're asking here, though, specifically has to do with when I'm creating a bookmark. And please, if I'm not understanding this correctly, please let me know here. But if I'm creating a bookmark, there's not currently a way to make that bookmark into a downloadable clip. But we will. But once you've clipped it, you can download it in the exact same way. We did that because the vast majority of organizations are going to want to actually take a look at that bookmark before they actually they're going to want to edit it after they take a look at it before they actually would want to download it. If there's anything that I'm not understanding with regard to your question, please follow up. Aaron is standing by answering questions right behind me here. So that is the analytics side of the software. The other few things that I wanted to show you here, again, on the folder side, we've given you new export functionality, which includes both Sony Ci and Frame.io. Sony Ci was something that's very new to me that I'd actually never heard of, and I'm wild about it since I've started playing with it. And it's just as easy as any of your other export destinations. So if I wanted to send content to my Sony Ci account, I just add it as an export destination, and then I can send content to that folder in the same way as if it was an on-disk folder. So it's a very, very nice process. That frame.io is another one that's really exciting. And we've said it 100 times on the call already, but we add these all the time. We really love adding export destinations. So if there's an export destination you're not seeing up there, let us know. We're happy to add them in here. Just extends the functionality of your SnapStream software. Those are kind of the big functionalities that Aaron went over and that I wanted to show you today. I'm going to wrap up the demo here at this point. If you have any questions, we're going to be standing by to answer all your questions. Please, the webinar is going to be live until every last question is answered. So please keep them coming. If you have any follow-up questions or would like to speak to anybody at SnapStream about anything you've seen today, or you can always reach out to Aaron, to myself, or just to sales@snapstream.com. I'm going to put this up, where it shows you how to both schedule your upgrade as well as ask any questions. As Aaron said, his email address is just thompson@snapstream.com, or if you have a specific account manager that you work with, you can reach out to them as well. For anybody that has a current SnapStream support plan, that upgrades are covered as part of your SnapStream support. So please go to snapstream.com/upgrade, and we'll make sure to get you upgraded. It's a pretty simple process. So again, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions about SnapStream 9.1 or SnapStream in general, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you from me, from Aaron. Have a great day, and thanks again for being a SnapStream customer.